new technologies, from the supercomputers we rely on every day to next-gen solar cells,
Yeah.
they all really need one thing.
Groundbreaking new material.
Exactly. But finding them, historically, that's been, well, incredibly slow, painstaking, really. Months, maybe years of guesswork for just one material.
Right. That slow pace, it's been a genuine bottleneck, hasn't it?
Huh.
It holds back innovation,
Yeah.
especially in really critical areas like, say, clean energy or advanced computing.
Mm.
You have to wait for these basic building blocks.
Absolutely. It's always been the accepted cost, sort of. But what if that's changing, like radically?
Mhm.
What if we're compressing centuries, literally centuries, of that kind of discovery into, well, almost no time at all?
That's a pretty dramatic shift.
It is. And that's what we're diving into today, how artificial intelligence is just fundamentally rewriting the rules for inventing new materials.
Okay.
Our mission here is to give you a shortcut, really, to understanding something that could genuinely reshape our future. Think about how we power our homes, the devices in our hands. It touches everything.
And to really get it, you need to understand the main players, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are three key parts to this story.
Okay.
First, there's the materials project at Berkeley Lab, kind of the foundation.
Right.
Second, Google DeepMind's AI tool. It's called GNoME. That's the big AI breakthrough part.
GNoME, got it.
And finally, Berkeley Lab's A-Lab. That's an AI-guided robotics setup. It actually makes the materials. It's the bridge from prediction to reality.
Okay, great. So let's start at the beginning then. The materials project. You said foundation. It goes back a bit, right? 2011.
Yeah, 2011.
Oh.
At the Department of Energy's Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, or Berkeley Lab.
So what was the big idea? What were they trying to do back then?
Well, the vision, and this came from the founder, Kristen Person, it was pretty revolutionary for the time, to build this open access database. But not just of known materials. It uses powerful computer simulations to calculate properties for predicted materials, too, virtually.
But wait, it's not just collecting data, it's predicting stuff, like a digital twin for materials.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. A predictive digital twin. It lets researchers ask, what if, and get answers fast, computationally, instead of spending ages in the lab guessing.
Ah, okay, so it changed the starting point. Less guesswork, more informed searching.
Precisely. You screen virtually, figure out what should work, then you go into the lab focusing only on the really promising ones. It streamlines everything.
Makes sense. And has it, caught on? What's the impact been?
Oh, huge. Huge impact. It's now the most widely used open access source for this kind of inorganic material data globally.
Wow.
Millions of properties, hundreds of thousands of structures. They've got over 400,000 registered users.
400,000.
Yeah. And get this, it gets cited in more than 4 new research papers every single day.
That's incredible. So it's really driving research.
Absolutely. And the computations, they're mostly done on these massive supercomputers at Berkeley Lab's big computing center, NERSC. Needs serious power.
Right. So when you say potential, what does that actually mean for, us? Any real-world examples starting to emerge?
Definitely. It's already shown relevance in areas like finding lighter alloys, think better fuel economy in cars,
Okay.
more efficient solar cells,
Yeah.
faster transistors for computers,
Yeah.
but also things like materials for carbon capture, tackling climate change. Photocatalysts, those are cool. They use light to speed up reactions, maybe break down pollution or make clean fuel.
Interesting.
Also, thermoelectrics, harnessing waste heat, and transparent conductors needed for solar cells, touch screens, LEDs, all that stuff. So yeah, it's not just theory, it's helping drive actual innovation.
Okay, so the materials project laid this incredible groundwork, this huge, smart library of what materials could be.
Right, a massive foundation.
But then what happens when you let a super intelligent AI loose in that library? One that doesn't just read, but actually creates new entries at warp speed.
Ah, yes. That brings us neatly to Google DeepMind's GNoME.
GNoME, right. Graph networks for materials exploration.
Exactly. It's a deep learning tool. And crucially, it wasn't built from scratch in isolation. It was trained on over a decade's worth of data from the materials project.
Yeah.
All those workflows, all that knowledge.
So it learned from the best source.
It did. And then it got better through something called active learning. Basically, it used its predictions to guide further exploration, refining itself as it went.
Okay, now the scale. This is where the numbers get kind of wild.
They really do. Prepare yourself. GNoME generated predictions for 2.2 million new crystal structures.
2.2 million.
Yeah. And of those, they predict about 380,000 are stable, potentially useful for real technologies.
Wow.
And those stable ones, they're being added back into the materials project, so the library is exploding.
So how big a jump is that compared to what we knew before?
It's described as an order of magnitude expansion. We knew about maybe 48,000 stable inorganic materials before this. Now, with GNoME's contributions added in, we're looking at around 421,000.
From 48,000 to 421,000.
Yeah. It's a monumental leap. And the speed, they calculated that discovering those 2.2 million structures is like, well, it's equivalent to nearly 800 years of knowledge discovery using the old methods.
800 years. In how long?
Well, the computation doesn't take 800 years. That's the point. It collapses that time.
That's almost impossible to wrap your head around 800 years of work.
I know.
So it's not just faster then. It's like it's enabling a whole new way of doing science, isn't it? Tackling complexity we just couldn't handle before.
You've absolutely nailed it. It's not just acceleration, it's transformation. GNoME also got much better at predicting stability. The success rate jumped from maybe 50% accuracy to 80%.
That's a huge improvement in accuracy.
Right. And the overall efficiency of finding stable materials went from under 10% to over 80%. So way less wasted effort.
Okay.
And here's something really fascinating. Emergent generalization.
Emergent generalization, what's that?
It means GNoME got good at predicting properties for really complex structures, say, with 5 or more different elements mixed together. Even though it wasn't specifically trained on that level of complexity. It's like it figured out deeper rules of chemistry on its own. It generalized beyond its training data.
So it developed a kind of intuition.
Sort of, yeah. An intuition based on the vast data, allowing it to make accurate predictions for things it hadn't explicitly seen before.
Okay, but is this just computer modeling? Or have any of these actually been made?
Great question. And yes, that's the critical validation. 736 of these new GNoME predicted materials have already been independently created and confirmed by other researchers in real labs.
Oh, wow. So they're not just theoretical possibilities, they're real.
Exactly. It proves the AI's predictions are physically realizable. It works.
And what kind of materials are we talking about? Any specific applications jumping out?
Yeah, some really exciting stuff. GNoME found 52,000 new layered compounds. Things like graphene, but new variations. Huge potential maybe for superconductors or electronics.
52,000.
Okay, this is a big one. 528 potential new lithium-ion conductors.
For batteries.
For batteries, that's like a 25-fold increase in candidates for potentially better, safer, faster-charging solid-state batteries.
25 times more options. That's massive for energy storage.
It really is. Plus like 15 specific new candidates for lithium manganese oxides, also for batteries. The whole point is to drive down the cost and speed up finding materials for these vital technologies.
Okay, so GNoME creates this incredible treasure map, millions of potential new materials.
A massive map.
But a map isn't useful if you can't actually get to the treasure, right? How do you go from 380,000 stable predictions to actually making even a fraction of them? That sounds like the next bottleneck.
Exactly. You need to bridge that gap. And that is precisely where Berkeley Lab's A-Lab comes in. It closes the loop.
The robotic lab you mentioned.
The AI-guided robotic lab.
Okay.
It takes the AI predictions and automates the process of actually synthesizing the new materials.
Okay, so how does it compare? Robots versus, a grad student in a lab coat.
The comparison is pretty stark. In just 17 days of running on its own, A-Lab tried to make 58 different new compounds predicted by AI.
17 days, okay.
And it successfully made 41 of them.
41 new materials in 17 days.
Yep. That's a success rate over 70%, about 71%. And it works out to making more than 2 brand new materials every single day.
2 a day compared to...
Compared to a human researcher.
Yeah.
Well, it might take them months, plural, to make 1 new material. If they succeed at all, it's often trial and error.
Wow. Okay. So the robots aren't just mixing chemicals randomly. The AI is involved there, too.
Oh, absolutely. The AI is crucial. A-Lab's AI actually figures out the recipes for making these new materials.
How does it do that?
It analyzes scientific papers, tons of them, learning synthesis methods. Then it uses active learning, refining the recipes based on results, constantly checking stability predictions from the materials project and GNoME data.
So it learns how to cook, basically, and gets better over time.
That's a good analogy. It's an end-to-end automated system. Predict, synthesize, learn, refine, super fast iteration.
Right. I saw a quote from Gerd Cedar, one of the PIs for A-Lab. He called that 71% success rate staggering.
It really is in experimental materials science.
And he said, combining the theory and data side with automation has incredible results. It feels like this changes the scientific method itself, doesn't it?
It's definitely a paradigm shift. You're augmenting human intuition and slow lab work with AI-driven prediction and high-throughput robotic experimentation. AI becomes a core part of the discovery loop.
And beyond just finding these specific materials, does having this massive new data set from GNoME open up other doors? Does the data itself become a tool?
Yes, that's a really key point. The sheer scale and diversity of the genome data enables new kinds of modeling,
Like what?
like creating much better machine-learned interatomic potentials, or MLIPs.
MLIPs. Okay, what do they do?
Think of them as highly sophisticated AI models that predict how atoms will interact and behave in a material. Because they're trained on this huge diverse genome data set, they become incredibly accurate and robust, way better than previous models.
And what can you do with better models of atom interactions?
You can run much more realistic molecular dynamics simulations. And here's where it gets really cool. These GNoME trained potentials are already being used for zero-shot predictions.
Zero shot, meaning predicting stuff it hasn't seen before.
Exactly. Predicting properties for totally new materials without needing specific training on them. They're using it to predict ionic conductivity.
Back to the batteries. Conductivity is key for electrolytes, right?
Precisely. Finding good solid-state electrolytes is critical for next-gen batteries, ones with higher energy density, better safety. These MLIPs can look at a brand new chemical composition and predict if it's likely to be a superionic conductor.
It's a superionic conductor, like a fast lane for ions.
Kind of, yeah. Materials where ions move incredibly easily, that's a huge goal for high-performance batteries. And these AI potentials can spot candidates zero-shot.
That idea of zero-shot prediction feels really significant. It suggests AI isn't just making discovery faster, but maybe changing how we even approach prediction, right? Less reliant on hitting the lab bench first.
Absolutely. It gives researchers this immense predictive power up front.
Yeah.
It drastically cuts down the need for expensive, time-consuming experiments in the early stages. You filter possibilities much more effectively.
It helps you focus your efforts.
Right. Kristen Person summed it up well. She acknowledged, it's still a long journey from a computer prediction to a commercial product.
Sure.
But he said tools like the Materials Project, GNoME, facilities like A-Lab,
Yeah.
they're helping harness data, enable data-driven exploration, and ultimately give companies more viable shots on goal.
More shots on goal. I like that. Increasing the odds of success, shortening that whole innovation cycle.
Exactly.
Well, that brings us towards the end of this deep dive. It's really been eye-opening. We've seen how this synergy, human expertise, massive databases like the Materials Project, powerful AI like GNoME, and then robotic labs like A-Lab, how it's all coming together.
Yeah, accelerating materials discovery at a pace that was, frankly, unimaginable just a short while ago.
And a really important point you made earlier, this new data, these 380,000 stable structures from GNoME, it's being made freely available.
Yes, open access through the Materials Project. That's crucial for ensuring researchers everywhere can build on this, keep the innovation flowing. It's a fantastic commitment to open science.
That really is fantastic. So to leave our listeners with something to think about, when AI can discover and even start to create millions of new materials, compressing what used to take centuries into maybe weeks or months, how many more of these 800 years of knowledge leaps are just waiting around the corner powered by AI?